Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. That is right, guys. We have 54% for free to play, 45% for pay to win. So we are over on the free to play account. I just got it all loaded up. Now, overall, this account, guys, again, we're maintaining kind of two accounts. We used to do a ton of different accounts. At this point, the time and effort that it takes to run these accounts is incredibly time consuming with so much going on. So it was either do kind of what I can on the accounts that we had, kind of almost half-assing it a little bit without spending the time and effort that I had. So that is why we focused on the two different accounts. So what is going on, guys? Happy Sunday to you. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Want to hop on here. We want to do some summons. Now, overall, on this account, we are not building out the Awakened version of Leica. Just for the simple fact, we went back and forth. We have a couple of Awakened heroes on here, which we already do have 4 built Awakened heroes that we've been focusing on. So we want to go through here again, build out a couple more heroes, and I'm going to be focusing on the Awakened version of Sophia. So this is the one that we're going to be building out over here, which will be our 5th Awakened hero that we're building. Also making a little bit more progression in the towers, a little bit more progression in a couple different game modes. Now, one of the biggest things that I've been getting feedback, guys, is the Lost Spire. So this game mode, I pushed a little bit right here, has been incredibly difficult for a lot of players to get through here. So unfortunately, it seems like looking at the guide from yesterday is just waiting a couple days till you can pick up the heroes that you need. Building out the heroes that you need within there seems to be the easiest way to get through here. So what's happening is a lot of players are getting through all the way kind of to this point. When you start hitting 13, when you start hitting this crowd control aspect, players are no longer able to make progression. They're getting stuck if they can get to 13. I know free to play, a couple other players that reached out to me on Discord as well as YouTube have said that they cannot get through this game mode. And I don't know if essentially Lilith's going to nerf it to a point. But again, a lot of players are saying as you're getting further, especially over on the test server, literally you're hitting a brick wall. It is kind of crazy that you are. So let's go ahead. Alfredus is here. Jaffa's here as well. Dungeon Master, Brian. We have a lot of people already over in chat. Any word on the next dimensional hero? Not as of yet. Right now, they think it is going to be another Lightbearer hero that is going to be coming soon. Looking at Dolly's dialogue and looking at the amount of time since we actually got Guineas, a lot of players, again, the speculation in there is it is going to be another Lightbearer hero. Hoping that we're going to see some of these dimensional heroes soon. Honestly, it's been quite a while since we've seen the dimensional heroes with Rem and Amelia. A lot of players are also waiting for the Garrison guys. Now, one of the questions that I do get all of the time is when is Rem and Amelia going to come into the Garrison? It is usually 5 to 6 months after release. So we got to be relatively close to when they're going to be released, which again, 5 to 6 months, even when it came to Geralt and Yennefer. It did take about 5.5 months, if I remember correctly, before we did see them show up into the Garrison. So again, Rem, they're still probably a couple weeks out at this point till we can have Rem and Amelia in there. What's going on, Little Slayer? Had 8 copies of Leica and 236 cards. Wow. 236 cards for 8 copies of Leica. That is absolutely phenomenal. What's going on, Honey Badger? And Jaffa, hello, Hippo fans. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's do a couple summons in here, guys. And again, this is the account that we've been kind of focusing on. We have quite a few scrolls, went through the Heroes of Espria, actually hit the point we wanted to within the Heroes of Espria. It took a lot more time and effort this time. So going through there, we know the event just ended, but it was incredibly difficult as a free-to-play player, even having 4 Awakened heroes, really having to go through there and pick and choose the battles that I had, making it a lot easier to get through there. Fingers crossed, guys. Celestials and Hypogeans is what we need, and we get really one that we'd probably use just to the tower. But the rest of these, unfortunately, nothing at that point. And then with the other stones, unfortunately, again, Superb Elite stones, we have never seen a Awakened hero on this account. Unfortunately, it kind of stinks to see, but we haven't gotten there and we haven't got to experience the Awakened hero. Now, also, guys, remember, we are almost done with the summons. So the Temple of Time only has 8 days left. If you have not done your discounted summons in here, you have to do the discounted summons. I ended in the first bracket, Diamond, Very nice, Raphael. Yeah, if you're pushing that, especially getting to diamond, that is pretty good. I got through 10 floor, no problem. Curious to see if that's where you're. Yeah, that's what a lot of players were saying, honey, is you built out specific heroes, you went through and you got them to get through 10 or 11 floors. When you get to a certain point, players are stuck with progression. So here we have 90 cards. Fingers crossed, guys, out of the stream. Remember, it's 65 cards roughly to get some of these heroes. Now we know it's going to be discounted for Sophia. But again, fingers crossed that we get lucky with these summons in here. I am hoping that we see 2 or 3 copies out of those 90 cards. So let's see, guys, if we can get a couple of those, if we can get some diamonds out of here. These are the discounted summons as well. That is what, 8, 16, 24. Number 3 gives us a copy, and that is just a 1 single copy of Sophia, but that's 1 closer. 1 closer to Mythic, 1 closer to Ascended, guys. It doesn't look like it's going to be some back-to-back summons, but we got 1. Remember, we had 90 cards. I got to remember that to see exactly how many copies we can pull. And it doesn't look like we're going to have any good luck in here today with our summons. There's number 2, another copy, just another single. So that's 2, which is okay, guys. So that was 90 cards, 2 copies. We still have 2 more cards in here. So not too bad. I mean, if you look at 90, so what, 45 each, which is good. I mean, that's above average. Again, 65 is the pity. So we got 2 copies out of there in 90 cards. Not too bad. That is actually not too bad with the summons. In here, we're still looking for Demia. And I think I'm going to spend my diamonds and actually build out Ivan on this account. Ivan is a big miss that I'm seeing right now. So desired summons, I think I'm going to go ahead and build out Ivan with the Stargazers in here. We're going to continue with Demia, continue building them out. I'm wondering if I should go for Sophia after Leica or wait for the next one. Honestly, Jeffrey, it's hard because if you're going for Sophia, if you're going for Leica, we know both of them are used in a lot of different formations, so you might be missing them for the next couple months. Again, you could build the hero, have the utilization of the hero as you have it today, versus waiting and just saving those cards, which of course you're not making progression if you're just saving those cards. So again, it's kind of either or. Rem and Amelia come to the Garrison. Will you do a challenge and make a new account for that like Vulcan? We could, but out of the Garrison, we're going to have to get to a point of where we can have enough resources to garrison those heroes. We could do something like that. My mother and sister tried to pick a package at the post office. They were sent, and it's 41 hours away. What's going on, Peter? What is the currently SP hero priority? So for the Awakened Heroes Rage, I have a video out there. Definitely looking at the Awakened version of Belinda, Leica, and Sophia are probably the biggest priorities that we've seen. But let's do some summons in here for Demia, guys. Need a couple more copies of her. Want to get her to Ascended. Have the furniture for her. There we go, guys. There is 1 copy. Fingers crossed another one, which it is not. We have 1 more card, though. Boom, just some more resources. Again, as fast as I want to build out Demia, we still do need a couple copies. But I know Ivan is going to be huge to have built in here as well. I'm hoping maybe we can get 1 or 2 copies of Ivan. Or at least enough to make him effective, I guess, to the point. So 1 copy right there and no second copy. That's okay. Can we get another one out of here? 510 cards for 11 copies of Belinda. It really took a lot of them. Yeah, that's not bad. If you're looking at 500 to get them, man, again, when you look at some of them, we hit at 400. Some of those we hit at 700 when we actually did, and we summoned up the Awakened version of Thane. It was over 700 cards, which was crazy. With Sophia and I believe with Brutus, both of them were much easier and much friendlier. There we go, guys. Another elite, which is Entendre. Almost have all of these heroes built, which are like, what are your thoughts or experience of Awakened Leica? So Awakened Leica overall, guys, the big thing we're seeing with her is she's being used in pretty much every game mode. Now, if you're running some of the best in slot formations, if you're looking at the Twisted Realm, the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, we're seeing her as the best in slot for pretty much all of those game modes as of right now. when you start going into the game modes, when you look at those leaderboards, even looking at the treasure scramble, there are formations that they're utilizing the awakened version of Laika. And again, even looking through all of the different game modes, including the Wilder Tower, she's used everywhere. So right now, the awakened version of Laika, and again, even looking here, we'll hop over and kind of just take a quick peek at the leaderboard, and then we'll finish. So even looking at some of the leaderboards here, most of the players were running either right here based on where you're built, still running Scarlet, but I did see that some of these on the YouTube account that is running the awakened version of Laika, which is the best in slot for me based on where we're at within the Twisted Realm. If you have the heroes built, if you have Laika built, she is being run as the best in slot within there, which is kind of crazy. What's going on, Devin? Thanks for joining us again. Welcome to the chat. And Zolthamus as well. Who is it? Who is it going? Did I miss much? No, Pika, didn't miss much. We're about 10 minutes in. Which hero is your most favorite? Most of you know. Yeah, let me check the friends list on here, guys. I usually probably haven't checked the friends list in a while, guys. Look at this. On the free-to-play account, I'm going to have to clean up some of these. So unfortunately, if you're 7 days or more, or honestly 2 days or more, we're going to have some friend slots on the free-to-play account. So we can clean this up. Actually, quite a few in here, guys. A lot of players come to AFK Arena. A lot of players leave AFK Arena. Even my FHG account right there, guys. Haven't played it in a while. Again, focusing primarily on 2 accounts. Haven't had the time to go through and run multiple accounts. Even the faction accounts, I haven't logged on in quite a while. When it comes to the faction accounts, just for the simple fact, it is the time, guys. It takes an extraordinary amount of time, and most of you know, to run a lot of these accounts. And I'll go ahead and add some people in a little bit, but we got 10 friend slots in there. Let's get back to the summons. Do I watch football? Not really. So my neighbors watch football. My son's actually playing football right now. He plays flag football, but don't watch a lot of football. I know I heard everything about the Detroit Lions because that's where I live, which was kind of crazy. There is a copy of Hodgkin, but I believe they might play today. I think it might be today. Got Damia to Mythic today at only 200 cards. Yeah, that's pretty good. And there we go, guys. We got a copy of, oh, disappointment. That is right, guys. It is an Awakened hero. This is actually the second time that I've pulled the Awakened version of Aziz, which is crazy. If you guys remember when we did Mickey's account, we pulled I believe 1 or 2 Awakened heroes on there. But for my account specifically, guys, this is the second time that we have pulled the Awakened version of Aziz, and he has still been, I believe, the only Awakened hero that we've pulled. So I feel like Lilith is just giving us a big slap in the face because unfortunately that's what we've seen, guys. And look at that. Devin gifted 10 memberships. Wow. Big shout out to Devin for supporting the channel. 10 gifted memberships. Holy cow. Holy moly, like what Laman said. Thank you, Devin. That is awesome to see those little hippos there, guys. But yeah, still with the Awakened version of Aziz, it's crazy. And look, so this account, we have never summoned the Awakened version of Aziz, but as you can see, guys, we have pulled enough copies in here. This is what I was talking about. So we did summons before. We pulled an Awakened version of Aziz. We just did summons today. We pulled in another Awakened version of Aziz. This has been the one that we continue to pull. So we brought him to Legendary Plus just like that, guys, with the copies, literally the copies that we pulled out of the random summons, which is kind of crazy. Let's get a couple of these heroes a little bit higher, guys, adding some more stars on Scarlet. Now, Scarlet is still a pretty big priority to build. Overall, when you look at Scarlet, guys, when you look at the Lightbearer Tower, still going to be the absolute driving force within that tower. Scarlet is still super strong. Scarlet is still used in an incredible amount of game modes as well, which is the reason why we still recommend building her, guys. Still goes in the wish list, still goes into the absolute priority. And I believe here we need what? We need 3 more copies of Demia, and then it's probably going to be going into Liberta. So we have a lot in there, guys. We have a lot. How old is the free-to-play account? I believe we are right at 3 years. I think just short of 3 years on this account, if I remember correctly. Right there, 945 days we've logged in. With that being said, Honey Badger, There were a lot of days that we did not actually go through and do anything with this account. So for a while, we ran in, we did the daily, that was it. I didn't do events, I didn't do anything else within here. Which now that we're at a point that we're actually playing it and actually playing it on a regular basis, we're starting to see and catch up a lot more of the progression that essentially we didn't make the first time. The wish list, guys, let's drop some of these 5 stars out of there. There goes Hodgkin. We're going to keep both those in there. You know what? I'm not going to build Fane, not going to build Torn. Most of the heroes that I want to build within these are built. Honestly, a majority of heroes that are on the wish list, even as a free-to-play player within here, a majority of the heroes that I see or that we have in here are the ones that I already have built. I'm not going to build newer heroes. Seem to, of course, do a lot better. Edwin, a few of them do exceptionally well. But I mean, I'm at the point where I'm just going to build essentially the heroes we have. And unfortunately, no more resources out of there. That's okay, though. Couple more summons, couple more recycled heroes, a little bit more progression is what we're going to over and over again, guys. Really just going through and building out all of these heroes. Let's do some furniture summons in here. Hopefully I can catch the Sunday stream more frequently. Yeah, we're trying to do the Sunday stream. I don't know if my schedule is going to change a little bit, Devin, just because we have just a lot going on with the kids and back to school and everything else. It kind of gets crazy with everything. I just sent you my rates on Liberta in-game chat. You'll be blinded after that. Nice. I got him to Mythic with regular summons. Yeah, it seems like, Michael, just like what you said, it seems like the Awakened version of Aziz is the one that I always pull. That is the one. Again, on this account, I've pulled him twice. 2 Awakened heroes that we've pulled on this account. Both of those Awakened heroes were Aziz. So it's a little bit silly to see, but that's exactly what it is, guys. We're pulling the same heroes, and we keep getting that exact same Awakened hero. There is Vathiel. Vathiel, again, we have him at Mythic. Just got to get some diamonds, some Stargazer cards, which I got to farm the tower on here to really finish out a lot of these heroes. Farming up the tower is going to make a big, big difference in here. And I'm saving my furniture. So we went kind of back and forth with the furniture. I'm going to save my legendary furniture just for the simple fact that using the heroes for different modes. Who do we got? We got 7, we got 5, we got 3. We could finish out here. I'm going to save the rest of those. Even looking at the beasts, we've continued to build these out quite a bit. 328, so we have level 9 right there. And I believe we're almost to 9 in its entirety. We have one more beast that we got to get up to level 9, guys. And then we'll go ahead and build them all to level 9. We have 2 already in here. And again, getting them to 9 is going to be the stopping point. So specifically, when we went back and forth, when we were looking at the beasts, I'm going to get the beast built up to level 9. And I believe right here, we have 2 more. So we need 3 more copies. I'm going to get them up to 9. Then I'm just going to go ahead and take a couple of these like the seal to 18. It is going to be the focus until they hit 18, which is going to be kind of crazy to see. When you break the resonating crystal, you need to keep leveling it, right? Yes. Yes. So once you get the resonating crystal up to your actually your 240, then you just level up the crystal. You don't actually level up the heroes themselves. You'll level up all of the crystal. Don't have Ivan. Do I recommend? Yes. Guys, Ivan is probably one of the absolute most broken primary 4 faction heroes we see, because he directly amplifies the damage of your strongest damage dealer, which is the reason. Would I prioritize Ivan? Absolutely, guys. Ivan is a huge, huge priority within AFK Arena, even with him being relatively cheap to build because you can get him out of here. But even having him at a lower level, having him at Mythic does incredibly well. He will do incredibly well, and he will do incredibly well in a lot of different game modes. A lot of players are putting him with Leica. A lot of players still with the Awakened version of Belinda, running Ivan with Rem. Ivan is a hero that you'll see a lot of. Gives me hope for my account. I'm not even 1 year and I'm at 65 million. Yeah, we're getting there, guys. 2,199 million. I love how they display it. I accidentally put Awakened Belinda to 80 engraving. Is that okay? Yes, Peter. If there is a hero that you want to engrave, the Awakened version of Belinda is it. That will work. Does Fane work well with Kren? Fane does. The problem with Fane, guys, is Fane is super niche when it comes to formations and the crowd control aspect. The other problem with Fane is Fane has to be built out a lot. Fane has to have a very high investment to have the crowd control, to have Fane work well. He requires a high investment, and that is just to work well. Most players do not build Fane. And again, looking at where this account is, looking even down here, when you look at Ullard, when you look at Thane, when you look at Rigby Walker, when you look at Oscar, most of those heroes, pretty much all of those heroes, we're not going to build in any capacity. And that goes for all of the factions. Satrana, when you look at, Verk, when you look here at Sophia, when you look at Ullard, when you look at K-Sauce, when you look at Granite, possibly a Granite, but when you look at Anoki, short of the towers, these heroes aren't used for anything, guys. I have so many, even looking at Respin, guys, we have what, 5, 6, 7 copies of Respin. It's a hero that I could invest in. I could put, get him all the way up to Ascended, build him up a little bit, even like Pippa, sort of the Thorn Cheese, Pippa isn't used. Most of these heroes at this point of AFK Arena are just going to be food. I mean, they're going to be fodder heroes. They're going to be food for other heroes, Ascended heroes, or in my case in here, I recycle a lot of the heroes on here specifically because it is a free-to-play account. With the recycling of the heroes, guys, it gives me more heroes that I can actually get, and it also allows me to build up the Elder Tree a lot faster. There we go, guys. All of our friends are set right there. I've awakened Sophia. Is she good? Yes. Yes, definitely. She is very, very strong. Is Awakened Belinda still the best? Andrew, honestly, yes. So the big difference when you look at the difference between the Awakened version of Belinda and when you look at the Awakened version of Leica, Belinda is either you have or you don't have, Andrew. That's really one of the very, very big things to note. The Awakened version of Leica is bringing a lot to the team dynamic, bringing a lot of buffs, the energy regeneration, the magical suppressor and the pierce, all of that. The Awakened version of Belinda is just broken when it comes damage-wise. She's still going to be used in a ton of different formations, and she is still used in every game mode. Just because Awakened version of Leica came out doesn't mean it makes Belinda obsolete. They're going to be running in different teams at different times, which are cool. How are you? What's going on, Kookie? Thank you for joining us for the stream. Doing great today. Took my daughter to volleyball. She absolutely loves it. I have a similar situation to you. My account only lets me pull Awakened Taylene off normal summons. I don't know why, Lux. So again, it's kind of interesting to see that we continue to get copies of the Awakened version of Aziz. I don't understand the logic behind it. I don't understand the reason behind it, but it seems like we're falling in that exact same boat. Now, the Temple Rift, I know this one I do have to make a little bit more progression. Bountiful Trials were there, but Misty Valley, I think I went through. I might not have went through this because I know some of these heroes I know we don't have. I haven't. You know what? I'm going to farm up the Misty Valley in here, and I do it the same way that I do with my pay-to-win account, guys. This is going to give me the chance, so I actually just run Rem in here. Rem is going to be the one that I'm running, and then I put in whoever I have, even if it's Belinda, regardless of who it is, guys, you're going to get through this game mode and you're going to get through here pretty quick as long as you have the heroes. I wish I got Baden from comment polls. I've never built him, but I always borrow him. Yeah, Baden is surprising. The Awakened version of Baden, Michael, I am actually pretty shocked by, for the simple fact that he has done as well as he has, and he hasn't really fallen out of formations. Which is really interesting to see that Baden has become such a staple hero in a bunch of different game modes. Again, a lot of players didn't think he would be there and wouldn't be there kind of as long as he has been. But Baden is probably one of the most shocking. And even when you look at a lot of the regular heroes, I guess, it seems like the first iteration of the Awakened heroes, when you have Taylene, when you have Aziz, a lot of those are seeing a lot less utility. Baden, we're not. Baden, we are still building both of them. I actually got to Resonance 12 as free to play a couple days ago. LeMan, that is awesome. Guys, if you're in, I'll say this again. We've talked about this before. When it comes to the beasts, I believe a majority of us has absolutely underestimated how the beasts work and how the beasts perform. It's incredible, guys. As soon as I brought my pay to win account a little bit higher with beasts, even when I got to the point of getting a level 18 seal, it's game changing. It is game changing when you look not only the stats and abilities that that they bring within a couple different game modes, but as soon as I got that seal up to a certain level, it's almost broken. It's kind of crazy to see getting the beast built out a little bit, how much of an impact they have in game modes. Should I build Demia or Liberta? Honestly, Knight, I like Demia. Liberta is gonna do well. If you can merc either one, and the reason for it is Demia, again, a really strong support, but Liberta is going to do the damage. Liberta is going to be the damage dealer in there. I would look at who you can merc out of those two. I went Demia. It could have went Liberta. Again, both of them you're going to have, and you're going to use them for so much different utility. And so much utility in AFK Arena. You're going to build those both. Might just take a little bit of time. One of the best things for me is eating on my day off to watch the Sunday stream. That's it. I'm the lunchtime Sunday stream right here, guys. So let's pop in our Graveborn heroes. And again, I just kind of go down the line. How was Heroes of Vesperia were good. It took a lot, Blue Crimson. That was what we were talking about a little bit earlier. The Heroes of Vesperia, which I do not have Lucilla. I'm going to have to borrow Lucilla because I believe I have Liberta, which we do, but I was not lucky enough to pick up a copy of Lucilla. So again, just like you guys, I hop in here, hop on the friends list. We go short term. Who has Lucilla that we need? Let's go Quan, and I'll go, let's say, the first three. When I get one copy, it actually negates the other three. So if somebody's on there, guys can pop in a copy of Lucilla in here. We can actually go through and get all of these. The Misty Valley, guys, again, this is a point. Do not underestimate the loot you get out of here. This is absolutely 100% one of the absolute priority places that you want to build out and that you want to get the heroes out of here, guys. Super, super important. What's going on, Carol? Hello, FHG and chat. Thanks for joining us. What are you doing? Hero build on Matria and Crisio? Are you doing a hero build on? Well, I have the build. If you're talking about where to build them out, Phantom, I have the shorts. So I did a short video on all of the major heroes in AFK Arena. If you go through and just scroll through a little bit of the shorts, you should be able to find exactly what you're looking for. And there we go, guys. We already have a copy, but you should be able to find exactly who you're looking for in the shorts. They are both there. How long till Rem and Amelia and the Garrison? Question I get all the time. But I think it's probably going to be a couple more weeks, and then we will see the heroes there. So let's pop back here, guys. We're going to hop in with Lucilla, and we will hop in with Liberta. I think we got a pretty good, decent one. There we go. A big shout out to Nithio. That's all it shows for the name if there's more. But we got one that we needed, which is awesome. What do you think? Should I go for Awaken Belinda, Awaken Athalia, or Awaken Leica? Personally, I would go Belinda. I would go Belinda, and I went Belinda on all of my accounts, guys. Again, she is such a strong staple hero in formations. She's not going to go anywhere. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. She is pretty strong and still holds places and holds records in everywhere. Guys, she is literally everywhere. I see in some stage that the campaign, the 30 granite with Lucrezia, might not be 100% less necessary, but it helps a ton, guys. So with the SI 30 of granite, you're actually getting an instant crowd control ability. That is really the only reason why players are building out granite to where they do. The instant crowd control is huge in there. Not really 100% necessary. You could probably go in there. It might take you a lot more attempts to actually get that Lucretia cheese done, but overall you should be able to get it done. Again, it might take you a lot more attempts without having the cheese that we see with the hero. Would you build Leica, Sophia, or Athalia? I think Leica is not, or on the test server. I would choose, honestly, out of those two, Dr. Yeehaw, I would do Leica or I would do Sophia. Those would really those would be my two go-tos, especially because longevity-wise, with Leica and Sophia being the newer heroes to AFK Arena, you're going to see a lot more strength and you're probably going to see a lot more longevity of the heroes just because they're newer. And again, when you think big picture, when you look at the first year that we had the Awakened Heroes, all but what Baden has really dropped down considerably within the tier list, just because again, we see a lot of kind of build in there. And then when you look at the season 2 or the second year of the Awakened Heroes, we're starting to see kind of the same thing where some of them are starting to just slowly fall off. And that's exactly what they're going to do, guys. We'll see it. We'll see the heroes slowly fall off. And that is just the nature of the game. Eventually, it's going to be. Do you think we'll have a swap awaken hero like last year? I hope so. Absolutely, Peter. I 100%. I hope so. I can't guarantee anything, but yes, I don't see why they wouldn't do another swap scroll with kind of the second series or possibly even the second and first series. Because it was insanely popular. Out of everything, guys, it was probably one of the most looked for and the most sought after and the most questions that I got with swapping the Awakened heroes. And I think, honestly, personally, I think they just need to do it on a regular basis. I think it would be really beneficial for players that have been playing AFK Arena for a significant amount of time, because you end up with a lot of heroes that are built that honestly you don't use anymore at all. So I would love to see it on more of a regular basis, even if it was like every 3 months, every 6 months, whatever it may be, that we had the ability to actually swap around some of the heroes we had, swap around possibly some with the swap scrolls, things of that nature. Again, versus just leaving all kinds of heroes that are built that you're never going to use again. Do you even do account breakdowns like someone account and tell them what to focus on? So the way that we've done those in the past, Xenoblood, is just through Discord. I could go through and kind of give guidance, and that's kind of what we do over on Discord. Is going through and figuring out, what you need to work on. I get a lot of messages over there from players doing the exact same in chat. If you need specific game advice, because I cannot see your comps, it makes a big difference because I can see all the pictures on Discord. Used to do them a while ago. We definitely used to do them a while ago, Zeno. I haven't done them in a while. Same with the summons. Here we need Naruko and Zolrath. But no, I believe we do have both of those. Zolrath, I know I have. Naruko, we were building out little by little. But I thought I had at least one copy. Maybe we don't. Unless I'm missing the tiny tank, I do not think I have any copies, which I do not. Again, guys, I'm going to hop over here. And this is what I use my wish list for, guys. This is exactly why we go through here and we build these heroes out. So there's tiny tank. We'll go with the first couple ones. There's turtle. So whoever we get to lend us the hero, guys, big help for this. But this is why we use the Garrison, or the friends. We can use them. We can go through here. We can build these out. It's honestly a huge help. You have to rely on the heroes you can borrow. That we did it the same with the Awakened version of Baden. We spent an incredible amount of time borrowing the Awakened version of Baden on the YouTube account before we actually built him out himself. Guys, for the specific game modes, that is why we always say to borrow heroes. You have to. You have to. This game, unless you're a whale, unless you're building out all of the heroes yourself, it's incredibly expensive to build out these heroes, and it takes an incredible amount of time. What Awakened hero should I go for? I have Belinda, Solice, Brutus, Thane built. Honestly, if you have those heroes built, I would either go with Leica or go with the Awakened version of Sophia. Now here on the free-to-play account, I went with the Awakened version of Sophia as the support, which works incredibly well. I do like it, but again, if you build Leica or Sophia, Legless or Legless, either one of them are going to do incredibly well in formations and have done incredibly well in formations. I'm pretty happy with the progression of all of them. honestly, with both of those. So Belinda, and again, I would say priority wise when it comes to the Awakened Hero guys, Belinda, the Awakened version of Sophia, and Leica are really the primary ones. And again, when you look at formations, there isn't a game mode that they're not used. That's kind of the big thing to remember is out of all of these heroes, guys, there's not a place that they're not used. I see in some stages of the campaign, the Granite. Yeah, like we said with Granite, guys, Granite could be necessary. Best Riz team now. I have a few. We're still using the Awakened version of Belinda. So the best Riz team now is still the Awakened version of Belinda, and just the powerhouse team built with her. So with the Awakened version of Belinda, if you're running Ivan in there, if you're running Rosaline, if you're running Palmer, if you're running Halos, if you're running Demia, anything that is going to buff and amplify the Awakened version of Belinda will work incredibly well in Risen Soren. It'll absolutely dominate both of them, guys. Risen Soren, absolutely. Awakened Solice or Leica, Carol. Honestly, either one of those are going to do incredibly well. Or excuse me, not Solice or Leica. I would go Leica. Sorry, I thought that was Sophia. But Carol, yes. And the reason is, as much as I like Solice and as much as I like Solice being used utility-wise, there's going to be a point that I don't see it much in the future, that we're going to have a lot of these heroes that are going to be hanging on for the next probably 6 months. I believe, and again, this is my opinion, the Awakened version of Solice, I feel within probably the next 6 months is going to be phased out of almost all of the formations. And this one, who do we need? It was Sonya and it was Taylene. I believe I have both of those. We have the original Taylene. Oh yeah, I do. I do have one. I was going to say, and then Sonya, I know we got really lucky when she came out, but there we go. But like I was saying, the Awakened version of Solice, because when you think of the support hero, when you think of the Awakened support hero, when you look at Solice, look at Ivan, look at Lucilla, or yeah, Liberta, look at Ivan, look at some of the Awakened heroes that we're seeing today are literally better than Solice, are better and cheaper to build. Building a lot of them out, they are a lot better than we're seeing some of the older support heroes, which is the reason. And there we go, guys. We thank you, Turtle. We have that. But like I was saying, I am losing my train of thought here, trying to see who we got. But the Awakened version of Solice, when you look at the support heroes, when you look at Ivan, when you look at Liberta, when you look at Lucilla, they're coming in with a lot more support, and they're coming in with a lot stronger heroes, guys. Again, the Awakened version of Solice can only hold on for so long. Bias opinion, Solice. Really, what should you do? Yeah, Leica in there. Free to play and playing for 10 days, just hit chapter 19. I thought I would miss the loot from Misty Valley, but I could use the characters from my, yep. Make sure, guys, and that is the big thing. A lot of people forget that defeat 4, excluding summons with the same hero. A lot of people forget that they can murk all of these other heroes, that you have the option to do it, guys. That's why I said, make sure when you're going in here, make sure when you're going through this game mode, that you're borrowing heroes, that you can get everyone you need, hopefully to get all of the chests in here. Need another swap scroll? Yes, definitely for a swap scroll. That'd be interesting to do a live. Yeah, we could do a live, but you got to go through a lot of different, if you're talking about the accounts, Raul, have to go through a lot of different places, which defeat at least 4 enemies with the same hero. We might have to tone this down a little just because usually the heroes, I wonder if literally we can do it. I think the seal's probably killing people. Actually, now that I look at the formation, I wonder if that is the case, because I put in a bunch of support, but I think the seal was probably just killing people is what I'm thinking. Hippo, that's why I never built beta. Follow your lead. Yes, and that was it, Michael. That's the reason. I mean, when Baden came out for probably the first, I would say probably the first year, I never built Baden, and I never built Baden on purpose. Now, where do we have that other door back here? I think it was right here. Naruko and Zolrath in this one. And again, guys, the loot in here is insane. It is just absolute crazy how much loot you get in this game mode. It is awesome to see. Is Mythic Awaken Belinda Signature Oath okay for 35 or chapter 25? Yes, absolutely. If you have Mythic Awaken Belinda with an SI 30, yes. So one of the unique things, guys, is when it comes to the Awakened version of Belinda, the Awakened version of Belinda works incredibly well without being built. If you build her higher, the damage amplification just gets much stronger, and we got to do Wilders in here. The damage amplification on her just continues to go higher and higher and higher. But even at a basic level, the Awakened version of Belinda will work well. But to maximize the damage in the game modes, you do have to build her out, because for the simple fact, guys, the higher that you build them out, especially when it comes to the Awakened heroes, the higher that they're built out, the better they're going to perform, the more damage they're going to do, period. Which is true with most heroes, but it is super important with the damage dealer, guys, because you're stacking the stats that they have. That's the big thing to remember, is the stats that you're adding to those heroes by putting furniture on there, by doing the engraving, by building the SI. You're literally just putting in the multiplication factors of levels on top of levels on top of levels when it comes to the strength that you're building in there. Yeah, the more you invest, yes, that's exactly it. Place all, was it backline is Rangers? Let's drop out our backline. We'll throw some Rangers in here. 1, 2, 3. Mulan still very strong, guys. I love it. She doesn't come close to Scarlet. So some of the boss fights, yeah, some of the boss fights, it depends, guys. With Scarlet and the Awakened version of Belinda, again, 2 heroes you're going to use in a ton of different game modes. It's kind of crazy. Even Scarlet is still and will continue to have a crazy amount of utility. Scarlet has a ton of utility in different game modes. Is Lucretia's 9 furniture necessary? For Lucretia, honey, yes. Yeah, Lucretia is one of the heroes, guys, that, again, the higher you build her out, the stronger that you build her out, the better she's going to perform. And that's it. I mean, that is the honest truth. The higher you build it, the better you build it, the better the hero is going to perform. Awaken Belinda and my Achilles heel in chapter 46. Yeah, Belinda, you got to get to alt. That is it. Just tuned in. Did you finish Leica on the second pay to win? We did not. On the pay to win, Connor, we have Leica at, I believe, 4 copies to be maxed out 5 stars. So we are really close. And I think I didn't do, let's collect this up, guys. Boom. Look at the loot in here. It is crazy when you see how much loot you get into this game mode, guys. Look at it all. I love when it spins around. And I think the only one we have left is the back line, or did we actually get the back line? Might have been the RNG factor to get the back line, but they are clear, guys. That is all of them. Now in here, of course, I'm going to go in and we're going to build out Ivan. I pushed all the way to 41. So here, I'm going to go with the Poke Coins because we want to do some more furniture summons. But we have our red chest because we need them. We have Ivan in here. We have a couple more summon stones. Got to get through 41 to get that additional bait. But there's Ivan again, guys. That is awesome. What account is he going with? This account, it was 54% for the free-to-play. And I don't think I did the Lost Star yet, did I? Might have, which we did not. Oh, we started it. I started the Lost Star. This one, guys, a lot of players got stuck. That is the reason, guys. If you checked out the video, if you've seen what I was talking about earlier, there were a crazy amount of players that actually got stuck within this game mode. I know it's a little bit of a sticking point. Again, for a lot of players got stuck. That's why I focused on it when we did the video about making sure, guys, to pay attention which way you're going, because you'll get stuck in a couple different places. Glad I made it stream. Want to tell you, I got Solice to Ascended. Now I'm going to go with Belinda or Athalia. I would go with Belinda Fox. Absolutely, guys. Again, still my #1 priority, the Awakened version of Belinda, works incredibly well. And that hasn't changed. Even with Sophia coming out, even with Leica coming out, even other heroes we've seen, it is really a hero that is still just works well, guys. Works incredibly, incredibly well. I've run through this again a couple times. I go through here. And I actually run this a couple times before we do the guide to try to figure out the exact pathway. So I think I have it pretty well down at this point. Might mess up here or there, but we'll see. I still love that one of my favorite characters, Scarlet, has a place. Yes, Scarlet still has a place, guys. Absolutely. Scarlet is still broken. And again, when you look at a bunch of different formations, and I really try to stress this, guys, is a lot of people say, awakened hero this, awakened hero that, the awakened heroes are this, the awakened heroes are bad. Honestly, when it comes to so much content in here, the awakened heroes are the best in slot heroes, which for a majority of players, you're not going to be running the best in slot heroes. Even on here with my free to play account, I'm not running all the best in slot heroes, and I don't run them, which means heroes like Scarlet, a lot of other heroes within AFK Arena still have a tremendous and absolute tremendous amount of utility within AFK Arena. They do have a ton of utility in this game mode. And again, guys, I'm drawing from memory on this. I hope I go through in here and do this right. I have Awakened Belinda, Mythic, Solice, and Brutus. Build up Belinda. Build up Belinda. Honestly, I would just build out Belinda to Ascended. The furniture is going to make a big difference on there. Also, the engraving for Belinda is going to make a big difference, guys. If you want to maximize the damage that they're doing, you're going to have to build them out to the point. And I think I might have, with the green one there, I think I might have messed this one up. Again, trying to kind of remember, because I know we got this one, but I think it's going to take me through the way that I don't want to go to turn that one back on. But again, we can go around in a circle and actually turn the red one back off. That's okay. We'll get there. For Misty Valley Treasure Trove, I collected earlier campaign. When I clear more stages, can I claim the reward? The final one you can, Baka. Yes, absolutely. So if I'm in 39 and then I go through and I clear 40, as long as the treasure trove is still open, I can run back in there. And absolutely, guys, it will give you the ability to go in there and claim what you need. It will give you the ability. You can actually go back in there. And I think I blocked this one again. And I'm paying half attention in here. And I apologize, guys, because I know this one, the red barrier removes this one, which is good. Then we grab this one and it has this path a different way. That's why, because I got to get this one. Now I need this. Again, it'll path us around, not hitting the green. And now I believe it does path us so the magical circles are gone. Then I believe it does path us this side. Again, doesn't go through the green, but it's going to go back to the red. I'm not going to bother with it. Again, I'm not even paying attention to that one, but that'll be okay. We'll get through there. Thrilling Voyage, I still have to finish. I think I made it through 83%. So I got through all of the Judgment Decree, which is what we wanted, or I have a couple more in here. 22 days, we're going to have to finish this to get some more resources out of there as well. Let's do the summons. Let's do the stone summons in there, guys. Who do I think's better, Sophia or Awakened Leica? Honestly, Ron, both of them are super strong. That is really... It's super, super strong with both of them. You want to build both of them. The Awakened version of Sophia and Leica, again, on my free-to-play account, I went with Sophia versus waiting for Leica. Both of them have a ton of utility. They have an absolute, guys, a ton of utility. Let's pop open these cards. And I also want to use the stones. I know out of the game mode, we just got a ton of stones. Which is good. Maybe fingers crossed Celestials and Hypogens out of here. Here we go, guys. 5 stones in here, which gives us Athalia. Okay, it's the original version of Athalia. I don't have her built out, but that's okay. We have Desira as well. Boom. This one gives us another copy of Pippa. So unfortunately, and then I believe those, nope, I thought they were going to go to my mailbox, but they did not. But that gives us a lot more copies. And then that gives us another copy of Palmer. I'm going to have to figure out what we're going to do with all of these other copies of these heroes, guys. We have so many copies of heroes. Essentially, again, on this account that I'm not going to build, it gets kind of crazy in there. I made them. I have Mishka and Naruko at Ascended. Who should I invest in more? Honestly, Naruko is the one that you're going to use reanimated. The big thing with Naruko, is Naruko is still being used in a ton of different game modes. And I thought the one that I Garrison. So Naruko overall is being used in a lot of different game modes where unfortunately at this point, we're not seeing Mishka in very many. Mishka maybe is in a subcategory or in a secondary formation, but Naruko brings damage, brings healing, brings shielding, brings crowd control, and also brings a considerable amount of damage and brings buffs in there as well. Should just follow the image guide. Yeah, I didn't want to bring anything up Blue Crimson again. I know going through there, I can figure it out, but do you think Awakened Brutus is worth it anymore? Vita, right now, I would say no. The reason being, when you look again, like at the Awakened version of Brutus, the only place we're seeing Brutus Vita at this point is really used within the Treasure Scramble, has a little utility in a couple different game modes, but overall, at this point of AFK Arena, and I want to stress this, guys, as of today, is Brutus going to have a lot of utility? Are we going to see Brutus in formations? Chances are probably not. Probably not. If you have to go through and you have to build the player or the hero out today, chances are you're not going to see them. We're not seeing Brutus in leaderboards. We're not seeing a lot of heroes in these leaderboards anymore. Naruko's there. Baden's in there. Liberta, of course, being in there. We have Crescio. And again, the Awakened version of Leica, guys, 18 billion damage, so kind of insane. Belinda, we know, is going to be absolutely in formations. Raku is in this one. But again, when it comes to Brutus, when it comes to Anasta, it seems like there was a point of AFK Arena where they had their time. Since then, it has passed. And again, building them as of today, I wouldn't do, because you got to think 3, 6, 8 months in the future, especially if you're going through in the investment that you're putting into these heroes. Are you going to be using them in the future? Are you going to be using them short term? Probably not. There we go, guys. There's another copy of Demia. I mean, we're at the point where they're probably not going to be used, and building them out again at this point of AFK Arena, I wouldn't recommend it. I honestly wouldn't recommend it at all. It's lunchtime. I'll see you later, Michael. Have a good lunch. Rift guides are so hard because the teams differ for every account. Yes. Foivos, that is the problem. So when I do a lot of the guides, and I know a lot of players kind of comment on them, but when I do a lot of the guides, I try to focus on a comp that works and a comp that hopefully you can build. So even looking at the Temple Rift in here, guys, this is going to vary greatly. Literally, it is going to vary incredibly a lot. And I cannot stress it enough, guys. It's going to make a big difference. And this is going to change depending on who you have and what heroes you have within here, what heroes you're building. I just got to the 4 teams on here. We're going to go ahead and push through a lot of this content. We have, what, a month left? I think we have about a month left, a little over a month left. But overall, it's going to make a difference who you have built, period. That's it. So the teams in here, I try to focus on a couple different teams. If I can get a couple different teams out of there, it makes a big difference, because if you can fill 1 or 2 teams within the Temple Rift, perfect. Fill in the couple teams with whoever you have left. And look at that, guys. We have another new subscriber. Emery, thank you for subbing to the channel, guys. We are almost at 45,000, I think north of 45,000, which is insane. It is absolutely, absolutely crazy with the heroes in there. Like I need something to sustain. She dies after getting a chance to ult. Oh, if you're talking, yeah, if you're talking about Rem, and I think that's where it was, Rem, build Alna, guys. Alna is huge when it comes to the furniture. This is really the big thing, guys, is this immunity. And not only Rem, the Awakened version of Belinda, when you look at Rem, when you look at a lot of heroes that go in combination, Alna is still used in a ton of formations, including campaign formations. Alna is still a priority in here if you're running Alna Baden. Most of these do have a form of Alna. Right here's Alna in the Awakened version of Thane. There's always going to be a place, because she provides immunity, regardless of how far she goes down kind of in the tier list. Alna is still going to have a place, guys. Absolutely still going to have a place. I'm using Awakened Brutus and Cursed Realm and Twisted Realm. Newer Awakens are better. Yeah, that's the thing, Blue Crimson, is the Awakened heroes are slowly going to be phased out, and they're only going to be phased out faster as we continue progression in AFK Arena. They're going to be phased out further down the line. Rem and Mulan don't work without the 9 of 9 furniture. Yes, there's a couple in there that you really, to build them up and to build them up a little bit higher, some of them are triggered. Some of them require either having the 9 of 9 furniture. Some of those require the 60 engraving. There are a couple in here, like even Halos, when we used him a ton. Looking here, the energy comes from the E60 engraving. Without the E60 engraving on Halos, he's okay. He works well in formations. Fundamentally, he works. When you get him the energy regeneration piece, that was the point that made him broken. And even now, guys, Halos isn't used a ton of places because he's been replaced by Liberta. He's been replaced by Demia. There's been a couple heroes that have come up in the last couple months that essentially have replaced a lot of those, including Ivan, guys. Ivan is another hero. Prioritize building Ivan. You will not regret it. You can literally stick him into whatever formation you want him to go into with 1 damage dealer, and it will work incredibly, incredibly well. What's the optimal investment for Chad? Yeah, the 309.60, you could do possibly a little bit lower, but for him to be a buffer, yes, you have to, right here is where he gains this part of the physique, the 100%. That is huge on the signature item. Furniture is one that could be a little bit lower, I believe, on him. If I remember correctly, looking at the furniture, again, this is okay. It really depends, but the engraving on him is strong, guys. This gives him the much stronger from 1 to 1.5% attack buff. As you progress further into AFK Arena, it makes a big, big difference. What about Matria? I got her Mythic Plus. Is she good right now? Yes. And that's the other thing, like we've talked about, Vita. If you have Matria at Mythic Plus, build her out. Absolutely build her out, guys. If you already have a hero at Mythic Plus, absolutely build the hero out. You've already invested so much time and effort. Is she still being used? Yes. Matria is still being used in comps. We still see her in a couple different places. Ronaldo or Messi, look at here, just in here farming a little bit. Honestly, I don't watch any sports whatsoever, but I know both names, so I'll go with Ronaldo. Ronaldo for the win. Temporal Rift start and run and end. Get to skip to floor 1 and save when you've built your enhancer. You'll get stronger heroes from recruiting. Yeah, so the big thing, Blue Crimson, is a lot of players kind of sandbag this game mode, which we see quite a bit, just to build up the beacons. So you could go in here and really push the Temporal Rift to get through, or you could set some solid teams with some well-built beacons. You'll go through very easy. It'll be very easy. After Lucretia, I should still start to build Liberta. Yes, Fox. I would absolutely build Liberta at this point. Who should I build? Awaken Sophia or Laika? Both of those will be good, but I went Sophia. I went Sophia, and there, guys, again, makes a big difference who you can merc. And Yusuf, pay attention to it, because if I'm going in here, guys, and I can merc an Awaken version of Laika, if I can merc an Awaken version of Sophia, build the other one. Even here, guys, I could, merc, as you can see, guys, 4 people already applied here. But if you're building one or the other, just have them specifically for the game modes. That I cannot stress enough, guys, when it comes to a bunch of different content, when it comes to a bunch of different heroes, if you can merc a strong copy of a hero versus building her yourself, you're going to save an incredible amount of resources by just borrowing the hero versus getting them. Ronaldo was the true. There we go, guys. So we did Ronaldo for the win. That was nice. I am free to play, and I built Awaken Taylene. We'll be using Swap Scroll. Yes, a lot of players do. Matria is still strong. Yeah, and that's the big thing, Andre. Is Matria is still strong. With a lot of the heroes, they still have an incredible amount of strength, and that strength doesn't go anywhere. That's it. Period, guys. There's not a place, again, that you're going to look at a hero and be like, you know what? We used this hero yesterday. We're not using this hero again, and we're probably never going to use this hero again. That is not going to be the case for Matria, for, Belinda, for a lot of these heroes. They're still going to be used, and they're still going to have a ton of utility. Demia or Liberta, Honestly, I went with Demia before I built Liberta, and I'm continuing to get and building out the buffs in here. I love the immunity in there that she provides, but Liberta will be my next one, guys. And congratulations to Connor. We do our gift membership every single time we do the stream, guys, so I definitely wanted to not miss that. We're almost to the end of the stream, but gifted the membership. Congratulations. That is 11 memberships, guys, which is insane. Big shout out to Devin for throwing some of those out there. Is it worth it sending an Awakened Hero up to 5 stars? No. Absolutely not, Year. I would not build an Awakened Hero past the 1 star for the engraving. And as you can see, guys, we have Belinda, we have Brutus in here. I have Solice in here at 1 star. I have Baden in here at 1 star, and then we're building out Sophia. The sheer cost of the heroes. So essentially, let's say, for instance, and this is kind of a scenario, if I wanted to take Belinda up to 5 stars, you're talking what, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 more copies. Roughly 60 to 65 summons out of there to get a copy. So you're talking an incredible amount of Stargazer scrolls or diamonds, which means I could build out Liberta, I could build out Demia, I could build out Vathiel, I could build out Lucilla, I could build out a ton of heroes within AFK Arena for the cost of taking them higher. If you're not a whale, guys, by no means do not invest in above 1 star. As much as I like the very, and it is a little bit of a stat boost, especially when you get to the point down here of adding a little bit of crit. But again, it's either you're going to have a well-built Belinda and you're going to be missing all of the other heroes to support Belinda, which is the way that I honestly see it. Look at that, guys. Gil Gamash, thank you for subbing to the channel, guys. That is 2 new subscribers for the stream, which is awesome to see. And Kraken Crunch, what is going on? At which point should we stop pushing the campaign? I feel like the rewards are bad. Honestly, the campaign, once you get to 41, guys, Kraken Crunch, most players do hit and complete 41 for the Misty Valley, and that's it. Maybe someday Lilith will get on board, which again, interesting to say, that is, Lilith has talked about the second half of 2023. So again, later this year, possibly looking at or possibly adjusting the campaign. That is not confirmed yet, Kraken, but they've talked about making some very big changes to AFK Arena in a positive direction. So we're going to have to see exactly what that looks like in the future. And again, when you get to 48, when you get to 50, when you get to 52, anything past 40, honestly, once you get into 42, once you're past there, doesn't make a difference. It's all really just fluff. You get very, very minimal rewards at that point. I'm hoping, again, that they're going to revamp a lot of what we see here in the campaign, and I hope it is coming. Also, yeah, another collab. I would absolutely love to see another collaboration. Love to see a swap scroll, again, more on probably a consistent basis. It'd be really cool. After Waking Belinda, should I start working on Leica? Either Leica or Sophia. And both of those guys, both of the heroes are going to do incredibly well. Both of them are, of course, the 2 most recent Awakened heroes. But keep that in mind, guys, because we still do have another Awakened hero, which is coming for the Graveborn. So again, the general rule, and this is the way that I see it, and this is kind of the way that I do it from experience, is when you're looking at scrolls, you're going to be to the point of building out your Awakened hero. So if you're sitting on, let's say right now, I just finished the Awakened version of Sophia, and we're just going to kind of talk about this theoretically. So the Awakened version of Sophia hits Ascended. Save your scrolls, guys. Save till you're roughly about 400 scrolls. If you're not currently working on an Awakened hero, I would just save my scrolls. Depending if you're free to play, it's going to take you a considerable amount of time to get those 400 scrolls, but then you can build who you want to. If you're currently working on a new Awakened hero or an Awakened hero currently, finish the current Awakened hero that you have going on and then start saving those scrolls. What I don't want to happen is, let's say, you build out a hero and then you get it half built. Next hero comes out, hero is absolutely broken. Now you switch to that hero. Then the Awakened version of Leica comes out. That hero is absolutely broken. Now you switch to the Awakened version of Leica. Now you have a bunch of half-built Awakened heroes that have half or a quarter of the power that they could have if you built them up in their entirety and if you kind of built them out one by one. Finish the current one, go to the next. Celestials and Hypogeans, the exact same thing, guys. Finish one of them, go to the next. Finish one, go to the next. The only exception I would say with this is probably Damia and Liberta, just for the fact that both of them are pretty broken within AFK Arena. And then even looking at focusing on one for faction hero at a time, I would drop everything and build Ivan, just because even looking at players in chat that were kind of talking about Ivan, Ivan's broken. Guys, Ivan, the way that he works, the way that he buffs up, even works when he's at a lesser level. Ivan is broken when it comes to a support hero, especially when you look at other heroes that he can buff up. Super, super strong. Is Awakened Soul still priority number one? Not anymore. The Awakened hero, I would put Sophia before Solice. Changing them out. Yeah, Solice. Again, the Awakened version of Solice is going a little bit further down. My Celestial chat is mythic. Should I complete him or start building Liberta or Damia? Liberta and Damia are both really strong, and both of them are used in formations. If you build out either of those, I did the same. So what I did, and I'm going to show you what I did here. I was building out Vathiel. Then Damia dropped. I focused on Damia. I'm going to finish out Damia like I was just talking about. Once Damia is completing, I'll probably go with Liberta. Once Liberta is there, I'll reevaluate if we need a new hero or if I'm going to continue building out Vathiel. Because again, there are heroes that are just an absolute game changer within AFK Arena. That is either you have them or you don't in a lot of different game modes. And unfortunately, Liberta and Damia are one of those heroes that are kind of crazy. New event is so hard. Yes, I just did a guide last night for the new event. Again, the Lost Spire, there are so many players in here that are having so many issues with this game mode. That is the reason why I did want to cover it. Absolutely. I wanted to cover it because, again, once you start getting to the lower levels, even if you can push through a couple of the earlier floors, the lower levels have been a nightmare. And that is where players are getting stuck, are these lower levels. So what they're doing is they are just sandbagging, picking up all of these Lost Spire tokens out of here every single day. And then you can keep them up to 72 hours. So you can only claim so many days of these without using them. So you're going to have to use them, whether it is making progression, if you can make progression like here, or if it is farming these quick battles to actually get some more resources again to try to finish out this game mode. They made it hard, guys. They made this very, very hard to get through the game mode. It's kind of crazy to see, but yes, they did make the game mode pretty difficult. But all right, guys, so that'll do it for our Sunday live stream. Thank you for all of the gifting memberships, guys, all the new subscribers to the channel, all the love and support that we're getting over on YouTube. Again, we are almost to 35,000 subscribers, or maybe even north of 35,000 subscribers. Even on my finance channel, guys, if you haven't checked out the finance channel, check it out. We're over 500 subscribers already on there as well, which is kind of crazy for a new channel that we have. But it is awesome to see, guys, that we have both of those going on. Something I love, something I'm absolutely passionate about. So again, guys, that'll do it for our Sunday live stream. Have a good weekend, and I will talk to you soon.